all right. Got to make sure to turn my microphone back up. All right, we've got a couple guests lined up today. Got one sitting in the virtual green room right now, hopefully comfortably sitting there for the safety of my guests and the one after. Quick temporal scan to make sure everything is cool. 98.8 looks like a pretty good temperature to work with. Quick look around the studio. Good audio. All right, we do have the stream up and live and waiting anxiously for the first comment so that I can notice them. Hope everybody's doing well. It is, Wednesday, April 15th. Welcome to the 27th episode of CoVideo Live TV. I don't know how things were around you locally, but it snowed here in Northwest Indiana, just outside of Chicago. It snowed. We had, less than an inch of snow, and it was gone later in the day, but that's unusual, and it's supposed to be a chilly night down into the 20s or so tonight. So here we are, middle of spring, enjoying it. At least it's bad weather. If it was really nice out, it makes it harder to stay at home. April 15th is today's date. Today's date is significant, and it relates to my first guest who will be calling in from the San Francisco area. On this date in, 18-something San Francisco, the city of San Francisco was incorporated. So without further ado, I got one comment. Colin Small says, "What's up? Welcome to the show, Colin." All right, so without further ado, let me bring into the show our first guest. Let's say a nice CoVideo Live TV welcome to Craig Lucero. Hello, Craig.
Hello, Ron and Colin, distinguished guests.
Yeah, and others et al. Craig, I don't like to get into a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, but it took quite a while to get you on the show. There was a stack of paper. There was a lot to be hammered out, wouldn't you say?
That's right. Well, a lot of forms to be signed and everything.
Mm-hmm. Releases, pre-releases, post-releases.
Exactly. Negotiations, right? Mm-hmm. I need to check.
Hey, San Francisco, 18 whatever. Did you get that? 1849, or is that the Gold Rush? What was the year it was incorporated?
That sounds vaguely familiar. I know they talked about it on the news, like I told you, but I think the bigger deal was that I think 420 events were canceled, and that's been an annual thing out here for quite a while. So I know there were people upset about that. I don't think people remember the history on the incorporation part, but
my hunch is the 420 celebrations of the San Francisco Bay Area will be going on. We got 5 days for anybody to, I'm guessing there'll be a lot of dispersing of gatherings around that day. I don't see it going without I don't know. I can't even think of a good pun. But I can't see it happening without something happening.
No. I think they'll carry it on, individually at least or something. But they just won't be groping in the parks and stuff or whatever.
Gotcha. So you're checking in tonight from colloquially known as the Bay Area, right? The San Francisco Bay Area. But you're not in San Francisco proper yourself right now, right?
I'm in a little town between Berkeley and Oakland, but it's right on the bay, so I overlook San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry. The reason I wanted to give a little bit of geography and geographical background is because something we wanted to talk about on CoVideo Live TV is the CoVideo. I do that all the time. COVID-19 and how it's impacted this country, and the 5 or 6 counties in the Bay Area were the first in the country to enact any kind of significant lockdown. How has that gone?
I guess starting from the beginning there, the people I work with nationally and stuff like that, I think initially there were a lot of them that were even saying, like, what the hell is going on out there? Why are they doing this? And, typical something or other, crazy Bay Area people or something. But I think in hindsight, obviously we had some pretty smart leadership, and it's had a positive effect. I would say almost instantly, the level of adherence that we had here, compliance to it was astounding. The town that I'm in grows by, I'd say something about 1,000% on a work day, because there's a huge number of people come in. Same thing, San Francisco, 800,000 people on a work day is millions of people come into it. But you could hear a pin drop. Everything was just silent. People stayed home. We saw masks early on in the process, but not as ubiquitous as they are now. Um, Obviously, like a lot of people, I tried to acquire them. You couldn't acquire them anywhere, but I do want to put a little plug in for masks. If you can see them, uh,
Get
I
your
had a
private
neighbor
stash.
make one, and I had my parents mail me one. I think I don't like maybe they won't need it. I don't know, but if people or if you personally don't have masks, I would say probably get it because that'll probably be the next thing that winds up being pretty common.
Hmm. Yeah, that is it. And advice. I was just out grocery shopping, one of the few places over at Strax. You remember Strax? They're not a sponsor, but I mentioned them. I shop there. And I'd say 60, 70% of the people had masks on. About all the employees had them on or somewhere above their neck, either on their chin or, or their forehead. But
Yeah,
of the customers, there was about 70%. I think I was in the minority not wearing any kind of mask there.
yeah, yeah.
But the effect the measures that were taken there in the Bay Area, is it 5 or 6 counties? I throw the 5 or 6 around.
There are more counties in the Bay Area,
Right.
but those were I think it was five. I can't remember if it was five
Right.
or six.
Me too.
People that were holdouts, and it seemed like later on wanted to be more proactive than the others. I don't get that, like Sonoma or something like that, but I'm not sure.
But the bottom line was that what was done then that seemed odd and extreme spread across the country, and
Yeah.
but was effectively implemented there in San Francisco because cases I didn't check in advance, didn't do my research, but cases there and deaths there have been stable or down, or isn't that true?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it seems like, I mean, I even heard some of our normally political opponents, I would say, saying, giving us praise and stuff from the dais.
Hmm.
So, yeah, so I think what we've done is working. I think everyone now, I mean, short of like, obviously, we know we don't have therapeutics, we don't have a vaccine. For the most part, you got to do the social distancing. You got to do the masks,
Hmm.
and obviously we're like we said earlier, we're on the forefront of that. Um, you know, that's pretty much it.
You had you had didn't you have a mask of some sort from last year when there were significant wildfires going on? There were particulates,
You
smoke and
know what?
particulates. No.
A lot of people already had masks, and that was part of the reason I mentioned that too, is because like most of our colleagues, our ilk, maybe growing up and whatever. It's like, Napa was on fire, Sonoma was on fire, whatever, and there was literally like dust and soot in the air, coating my city here.
Hmm.
And I walked out anyway, so whatever. Doesn't matter. It's nothing that the mills haven't been putting into our lungs for years.
Yeah.
Um, but and so the other people, the smart people, they had already had stockpiles of mass and stuff to handle the soot. I didn't have it, so that's why I had to scramble and procure my own, or my neighbor made me one of those.
Right. So we were talking a little bit earlier about I don't know. I think Americans don't like the being told what to do and don't like the restrictions on freedoms, but eventually it will come to an end, and eventually we will have to give some of that freedom of movement back. And we were trying to reflect a little bit on what you think will be different, what may be different in the for initial weeks, and maybe even beyond that. What's your take?
I mean, I think big picture, big talkable bullet points on this whole thing. I would say number one is I don't know that we know it will be over at any point for sure. Obviously we're hoping for herd immunity, and we don't know what the tipping point is. I think one of the side points of that is that we have to wait for an understanding of how many people are actually asymptomatic. So, like with any luck, we actually already have it, or had it, and we just didn't get sick.
Right.
That would be great.
Ideal.
And hopefully, if you and I did, then maybe there's 60% of the people. I think 60% is the number I heard, where we might be able to get close to herd immunity. Obviously, we know also that the virus may mutate, and then that everything may be out the window. And so, caution, I would say, before we reintroduce the problem.
Hmm.
Um, So it may be around a while. And so I think as a result, if I make a pivot, like let's say economically,
Hmm.
one of the things that the Bay Area already had in place, we had a nice infrastructure in place. We used to make jokes around here all the time that we invent people and apps and all these different processes and stuff to do things that people's moms used to do for them when they were kids or something, right? So literally, people come up, they'll take your dirty clothes away and they'll bring them back clean, folded, pressed, whatever. You can get stuff shipped without packaging material, or just say, I want this to go somewhere, and they'll say, got it, I'll take care of it. You say,
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm.
Grocery deliveries, obviously, that took off. Also Uber, all these different things. So nobody does anything for themselves around here, which turned out to be a benefit for us. I think the infrastructure's here. People are already used to, they don't have to figure out how Amazon Prime works and Whole Foods delivery works or anything like that. So we also have a lot of technical infrastructure. So everyone's got fast internet. People already were used to working from home. They had VPN. If you're some small retailer, maybe in, let's say, Indiana or
Hmm.
something,
Hmm.
you might have been smart with your money and you might have bought a DSL internet circuit that was slow upload speed and fast download. You have 20 people. Now, all those people maybe try to work from home. They can't remote into the network very, very well. Those people then call their provider and say, I need faster internet service. And they say, get in line because everyone needs that and your technology is limited. We already had fiber optic all around here, all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the learning curve was really low because people
Yeah.
could just
I,
hop on the way that they already had. So one of the impacts I think is going to be that people who are well positioned technologically or medically or any of those other kind of benefits economically um, will probably come out of this less scathed than the people who are less so. And so I think if income and wealth inequality is an issue, which I think it is, it will probably widen after this, and geographically and between people, socioeconomically. Yeah.
Agreed, Greg. That would be a whole nother half hour, 2.5 hour, maybe potential college credit conversation that we would have
Yeah.
to get
Oh,
into
absolutely.
that. It opens up a whole bunch. It's something you mentioned about having access to technology. Some of the businesses that are around were able to adapt, specifically like restaurants, who had a system in place beyond just one person answering a phone and taking orders, right? If they already had
Yeah.
a system in place for delivery and preparation, even packaging, you keep somebody caught on their heels who didn't even have enough styrofoam containers or something. So I think
Exactly.
people who are ready.
Logistics. Yeah. In fact, I mean, it's interesting. I can see the evolution of things happening around me. I was looking, like I said earlier, I was looking for masks. In my hunt, I found a deli down the street that normally sells smoked meats. And I said, well, I'll get a sandwich. I'll get some. They had already changed their meat to vacuum packed so you could take it to go.
Right.
They had yeast. Yeast has been hard to find because a lot of people baking their own bread.
Here
They
too.
had yeast for sale. They had flour for sale, eggs. So you could get, I could go up touchless, get a bag of groceries, sandwich, packaged meats, and everything. But they sold cleaning supplies, they sold latex gloves, they sold masks. And I'm like, oh, Augie's Deli, and ask us about our COVID masks or something,
Right. COVID
but
survival pack. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah, yep, yeah,
Greg,
dynamic,
I
you know.
told you it was going to go fast. We're at about halfway
It
through
is.
the show, and I got another guest in the virtual green room. I'd like to have you back on, maybe as this grinds on a little further. You're going to make yourself available?
No, probably not.
First one to say it. I've been waiting for someone to shut me down.
Yeah, no,
I
I
really,
don't
I
think
really didn't want you anyway. I just felt compelled to ask.
like I said, talk to my agent.
That's
We'll
right.
see.
We will. We'll. Hopefully, we can talk again if you can figure out how to pick up the Skype call.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, I am a CIO, so there's a certain part of that makes sense.
We'll leave that alone. We'll leave that alone. Greg, thank you for joining us. We will check back in. You stay safe. Give our love to the Bay Area.
All right, man.
Ah,
Peace.
bye. All right. Craig Lucero, thanks for joining us tonight. All right, we're going to roll up the logo and get on to our second guest here. Sit tight. We'll be right back. Okay, just like that, we're back. We got our second guest queued up in the virtual green room, Co-Video Live TV episode 27, calling in from just south of us here in central Indiana, specifically, I believe, Fishers, Indiana. Let's give a nice Co-Video Live TV welcome to Dave Miller. Hello, Dave.
Hey, how's it going, Ron?
Fantastic, fantastic. All right. Dave, you are have been a long-time friend of mine, right? I've been bringing people intelligent, entertaining friends of mine, and I've been waiting for this opportunity to have you on the show. So welcome to the show, Dave.
Wow, thank you. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but
Maybe you got the wrong person, the wrong Dave Miller.
that's right. You sure you got the right guy?
Hey, the last time I saw you online, besides in the corner of my screen via Skype, was at that the Nick Foundation, the Northwest Indiana Cancer Kids fundraiser that Ron Harlow and Harlow Media had put on. I caught the beginning
Correct.
of that. It was sounding good.
Yeah, it was the first time. Excuse me. It was a first time thing for me, so I was quite nervous. But I think it's old hat now. One and done. Huh?
Right, right. We may even try bringing some music into the Co-Video Live TV set here. Possibly you could help us out with something like that.
Love to. I got a guitar in arm's length, so.
Well, not immediately tonight. I'm not putting you on that kind of on the
Oh,
spot. We'll work something out for the future. What do you say?
yeah, sounds great.
So you are currently down in Fishers, Indiana, right? Well, how's life in Fishers?
It's good down here. We came down here. My wife's job changed, and it kind of reminded me that the meaning of life is there's no plan and throw your stuff out, right? But I'm happy to be here, especially we got a real nice house. So if I'm going to be quarantined, I'm in a good spot.
But you said when we talked yesterday, trying to make arrangements for this, that you were getting a little stir crazy, and you went out for like a 30-degree motorcycle ride yesterday. You're so stressed out, huh?
Well, I was confused about the whole COVID-19 thing. When it started, could you get a test? And they weren't really telling the symptoms, and I wasn't sure about it. It took me a minute to get my head around it, and once I did, I realized, well, I guess we need to stay home. So I've probably been locked up here for about 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you've been, you said the work that you do has been kind of put ground to a halt in what you make, what you manufacture there. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, we outsourced our manufacturing some years ago, so I really don't do anything but collect. But yeah, because a lot of states aren't doing it, and like we had touched on earlier, the oil rig platforms, the offshore living quarters on oil rigs. Since oil has dropped so bad, that's a real nice market for us, and that's obviously uh, slowed down dramatically because of the oil going less than $20 a barrel. But like we said, hey, you're up or down, and luckily when this happened, things were pretty good for us financially. So I'm in pretty good shape. I don't have any complaints.
Right. I wasn't complaining when I drove past $1.50 whatever gas. I don't know how it is down there near Indianapolis. What is it, a gallon?
I don't know. I haven't. I rode my motorcycle, which I don't remember the last time I got gas. So I have no idea. I know that I'm getting a discount from Allstate because we're not driving anywhere. I still think I have a truck. I'm not sure.
It may if you you might want to double check that. I guess
That's
yeah.
right.
I
Start
heard
it up.
I heard State Farm was doing the same. I haven't really seen it yet, though. I heard that Allstate was knocking something off for safe driving. Everyone's a safe driver when they're not driving, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's like a dream come true for them. Hey, pay your bill, and by the way, we're not getting in the car. So sounds pretty good.
Right. And so back to the music. When you are able to get out, have you been playing live anywhere? What do you got up your sleeve?
What's happening so far? I think I touched on with Ron Harlow. I'm going to open the show, God willing, in June for the Corn Roast Festival again,
Mm-hmm.
the Crown Point, or the Chamber Commerce there,
Mm-hmm.
and also on, I believe it's September 25th, they hired me to play a pop-up art festival. There at the Bulldog Park
Mm-hmm.
in Crown Point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got that going. I mean, I've been playing at home a lot. I've done everything I can do here. Like I said when we talked the other night, my garage is a museum. My walk-in closet is immaculate. I've touched up all the paint in my house. I'm running out of stuff, buddy.
I know, we all are. I think people, like I said earlier when I was talking to Craig, I think Americans are going to start bristling at this lockdown. I think, for better or for worse, it's going to have to end sooner than later. I think, regardless of the consequences, we don't know. But I think people are not going to sit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to encourage anybody to do anything rash, but I just don't see Americans sitting idly by for much longer, unfortunately.
No, I agree. I think it's going to get tougher as the weather gets nicer. And like I said, I know I'm running out of stuff to do here. And I told my wife the other day, I said, it's amazing. I feel bad for a lot of people who need medications. And I know this is a really serious and challenging time. Me personally, I'm on the cusp of being more organized than I've been in my entire 50 years of life.
Better organization. I would find myself on the other side of that, is that being just easily distracted and not completing anything has been easy to do, because you always think, I got more time to do this whenever, right?
I guess so. I mean, I've just been trying to keep myself busy. The wife started working from home. It's been a couple of weeks now, and so I'm just trying to stay out of her way. She took over my office, and that's fine. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? You just got to try to make the best of it. And I've seen a lot of people walking around my neighborhood that I didn't know lived here.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking to them? Have you learned anything about it? Have you met somebody brand new?
Well, I have a pond in my backyard, and a lot of people come and like to look at the fish and this stuff. So I was standing at the window scratching at some people like I was trapped in here. I think they got a kick out of it. So I'm just trying to keep a sense of humor about the whole thing.
Do people wander or drive around in costumes or anything? Have you seen Ronald McDonald or anything? I've seen some of these pictures on Facebook. No characters?
No, I haven't seen anything like that. Nothing like that. I am thankful to have the motorcycles. I've got two Yamaha FC1s, and if I got to get out, and I can definitely social distance on that. So if I really need to get out, like I said, or like you said, I took that cold ride the other day.
Yeah, right.
It was the first time. I mean, I'm pretty patient, and I've been kept myself busy. But yesterday was the first day I felt a little Jack Nicholson-ish. I'm like, I got to get out.
Right. Here's Davey, right?
Yeah.
Right. So any other hobbies? A lot of people, I saw, what was it, a Walmart CEO, I think, was echoing something that a lot of retailers had seen, the phases of purchasing. First were cleaning supplies. Second were the paper products, the toilet paper. He was charting it along with their quarterly results through the month of March, end of quarter. Then came educational items, computers and things to make sure kids could learn at home. And then came, they saw increases in jigsaw puzzles and board games and stuff like that. And what would you guess would be the current one that they're on to now? I'll give you a clue. You engaged in some of it before your appearance last week.
I would have to say remote control cars.
No,
I mean,
hair care products, beard trimmers, hair colors, and things like that, right?
Sure. Well, that is another thing I've done. I've cut my own hair.
Right.
That's it looks okay now, right? With these headphones in the back of it. I think we're all going to end up with mullets, I guess. I don't know, but I cut it with a beard trimmer. But I do have, my other hobby is remote control cars.
Ah, all right.
So I've been doing a lot of that, and I guess I'd like to say, since your show is about the COVID-19, I punctured a finger last night. Nothing major, working on a remote control car. And it did make me stop and take notice that, hey, there's other injuries that can happen, along with the medical system being overwhelmed by this. So everybody needs to just be careful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was some of the reasoning behind the closing of something I do, mountain biking trails, off-road trails in the state parks were closed because they said you're putting a strain on first responders. You're exposing them and you're taking them away from other bigger issues. So.
Sure. Well, like I said, I've been staying at home, but once I wrapped my mind around it, I figured, well, I guess the best bet is, it just seems so ambiguous initially, especially with the iRacing and the stuff going on. I was thinking, is the NBA, are they going to be like playing EA Sports now, like LeBron and them?
There was a game of horse. No, there was a game of horse last weekend, wasn't there? A professional horse game going on?
Oh, no.
Hey,
I'm ahead of my time.
Quick, what you were thinking. Do you watch any sports, pre-recorded sports, like whatever, the 2020, this championship? You watching any old sports?
I have caught a little bit of stuff, which is it's kind of funny because you get tricked into thinking it's current. But I think the thing that I got a kick out of was the iRacing.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the latest snafu with that during the NASCAR, and that's unfortunate, but it is kind of funny that because I have a driving simulator,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I do that, and now I'm watching these guys do it, and I'm like, are we really? Is this what it's come to? We're like watching people play basically video games, and
Yep. And
I guess that's been going on. I'm sorry.
no, it's things like that that are going to have a cause, not an abrupt end. Things like that, when people begin to realize that's what we've resorted to, that's when you know the whole lockdown's going to end, like it or not.
You know, Ron, it's been going on for a while. I mean, America gets pretty lazy. I'd love to hook up with you and your family and play some cards or something, but I'd rather watch poker on TV. I'd rather watch other people play cards on TV, right?
Right.
I mean, that's kind of what's,
Yeah.
You see a lot of that going on.
Yeah, exactly. Watch other people play sports. So what else have you picked up? Any new hobbies as we wrap up here? Any cooking? You cooking anything interesting?
No, I leave that up to the wife. I usually murder some stuff. I've been eating a lot of sandwiches. You know, we kind of prepared for this pretty early.
Yeah.
Went to the store and stocked up a lot of stuff. And like I said, I took the thing pretty serious and just staying out of the way. But no, like I said, my garage is a museum. My laundry is immaculate. My tools are cleaned and polished. I'm running out of stuff to do, buddy. So you need to fix this, and let's get back out there and have some fun.
Hang in there, because Dave, I'm going to have hopefully have a guest on here within the next few days talking about the state of mental health of people during lockdown. So hopefully she can bring some tips and some helpful hints for you on how to maintain or regain your sanity. How about that?
Sure, Ron, and I'm going to keep watching your show because I made the Jack Nicholson joke or whatever, but I had a talk with my brother and I did mention that. I said, you know, I feel like I'm a fairly solid person. I got my head around this and I'm trying to do my part. And yesterday I was starting to get a little bit frantic. You know, I was a little bit manic. I'm like, oh man, and I really didn't see that coming. So it's probably a serious issue that needs to be addressed.
True. Yes, just this afternoon, looking around at all the people with masks on in the supermarket. Yeah, it did hit me a little sideways. Yep.
Yeah,
Agreed.
it is. It's a frightening thing, and we need to all just try to focus up. And I'm sure we'll get through this.
I totally agree. Dave, anybody you want to say hello to out there? Anything you're promoting, or anyone you want to say hi to?
I don't know. I guess I could say hi to my mom, but I don't even think she knows how to use a phone. So, but I just wish the best for you and all your family, and hello to anybody watching. And I appreciate you having me on here. And again, I appreciate being on Ron's show, Harlow, as well. So I feel like I went somewhere and did something, and I think that helps.
All right. Well, we'll try and hook up, if not remotely, in person to jam sometime soon. I'd like to, even if it's just watching you play. It's always been a treat. But it's even more of a treat to be playing with you at the same time.
Yeah, we did a lot of that. Let's not forget about that.
All right, Dave. All right, I will check back in with you sometime as this goes on. Hopefully, yes. Can we check back in with you?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's try to keep in touch a little better without having a national pandemic to have a conversation.
Yeah, good way to end. Thanks for joining us, Dave. I appreciate you making the time.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. Have a good show, buddy. Talk to you soon. Appreciate having me on.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, there goes Dave Miller, Diamond Dave. Yeah, we played a long time ago in a band called The Truth. All right, we've gone a little bit over, but when you're talking to a couple good friends, that can happen. I'd go an hour, but I think people might start dropping out. With that, we'll end the show. This has been CoVideo Live TV episode 27. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. CoVideo Live TV episode 28, of course. We'll be doing it through Friday. Again, taking the weekend off, just doing 5 solid shows Monday through Friday. Seems to be a good balance. At least around here it is. Look forward to that. We've got some guests lined up. We've got a couple return guests to check back in with as well. And with that, we'll end the show. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. CoVideo Live TV episode number 27. Bye now.